Now let's talk about Godzilla.
Right.
So this one is it's got three returning cast members from 2014. Great special effects, amazing special effects.
Right.
What did you think about it? What did you think about the way the director handled this one?
Way better than the first one. Way better, because we got away from like, we're gonna kind of show a scene and then we're gonna cut away. It was like kind of show a scene, even though there was some cutaways. Not as bad as it was in the first one.
There was not.
It's like we actually got to see monster fighting. We got to see that. We didn't have to wait to the end of the film. Though they did make us wait a little bit in the very beginning because they gave us a little bit, but then they're like, oh, we got to give you all this exposition and all this plot and stuff. So I was fine with that, but when they got to like the actual, so King Ghidorah is fighting Godzilla. King Ghidorah is fighting Rodan. King Ghidorah is fighting... Mother King did a lot of stuff. I know he had 3 heads, but he had to fight everybody. So, it's fighting Mothra. It was like he had to fight everybody. I was like, damn. I was like, you doing a lot of work. So, but they gave us a lot of fighting, and one of my coworkers has said to me, it was like, the movie's like 2 hours long, and it's like, I wish it was 3 hours long so I could get 3 hours of monster fighting. And I was like, you'll get tired of just seeing CGI monster fight for 3 hours, but you know what? I never got tired of seeing that on screen. It was really exciting to me what they gave it to me. I wish I had more. So a lot of that eco-terrorism stuff, dial that shit back. Give me more monster fighting, because I was really, really excited. The only thing I think from the monster fighting, I wanted more destruction. I wanted more. It's like when you watch the old Godzilla films. I'm not gonna say the film studio because I always screw it up. When you watch the old Godzilla films, it was about like dun 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 dun, and then they're destroying buildings.
Right.
Dun 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 dun. Before they even get to the monster fight.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to see more of that. The Rodan scene was probably the biggest part where we got to see more destruction. There was destruction, but it was the town's evacuated. We evacuated out of the city, and it was like there's nobody there.
People fly off.
Yeah, I want to see people fly off. I want to see. So Man of Steel is a perfect example where it's like, hey, in the original Superman 2, seeing super powered beings fight destroyed a couple buildings, but we didn't really see what it would be like when we got to Man of Steel. When we got to Man of Steel, they wrecked shit in there, and it was like that's what it would be like, 2 superpowered beings to actually fight. So in this one, I didn't get that feeling until the Rodan scene. That was the only one I did. Everything else was like, well, we evacuated. There's nobody here. You can go ahead and let them fight.
Okay, so, all right. I agree with that. What I liked about it, too, was he actually lost the first fight.
Yeah, that's great.
I like that he lost the first fight.
You gotta have a Rocky comeback story.
I like that he was damaged.
It's Rocky 2.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
I'm sorry, not Rocky 2. It's Rocky 3.
Yeah, it was Rocky 3.
It's Rocky 3.
So he needed Mothra to be Apollo.
There you go. Oh, wait, Mothra was Apollo, because Mothra gave him the eye of the tiger. When Mothra died, well, maybe it was Rocky 4. It was Rocky 4. It was Rocky 3 and 4.
Anyway, so he lost that first fight. I thought that, first of all, Ghidorah was amazing.
All right.
I
love the fact that they said Monster Zero because that was the English title for it.
Yeah, I love that too. There was a lot of references to the old Toho films, not Toei films.
I keep doing that.
There was a lot of references to those old films, and I think that the music, bringing back the old music and modernizing it and adding a little bit more to it was just great touch.
Yes.
It was a great touch because it really felt like a Godzilla movie.
Yes, it did.
After that. And but the design, I like the character design of the Ghidorah and how it was you could just see the menacing look of it, and
I like how they tied
mess you up.
I like how they tied it to the Hydra.
Yeah.
I like how they tied it to the Hydra, and it was like, okay, cool, he ripped off a head. Oh, it grows back, and I was like, oh, the stories and the myths was based on King Ghidorah. I was like, I love that aspect of it. I was like, I was really great about that. I wish they had shown us more, like teased more monsters outside of the fact that they said they were awakening. So I kind of want to know where they got to go, because they got Gigan, they got Mechagodzilla, they got Smog Monster,
Megalon,
they got
Smog Monster. Yeah, and those are man, give me that in part 3. That'd be awesome. Well, Kong versus Godzilla in part 3, but more or less. But
maybe they'll do that one. Maybe they do Kong versus Godzilla as a spinoff, and then do Destroy All Monsters in 3.
We'll get into that in a minute. But overall, that first fight gave you, and you're right to a sense where you don't get a lot of the destruction, but you do get destruction when they're in the Antarctica scene.
Yeah.
And that's, it's not, with buildings and everything, but there is a lot of destruction going on in there. a lot of people have complained about it's a big monster fight. It's a lot like Transformers. Not enough character development and all this other crap. I'm like, okay, watch part 1. You get all that.
Yeah.
Let me have this.
Where's Aaron Taylor Johnson in this film?
I need him in this movie.
To him to defuse a bomb and not really defuse the bomb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's an aspect of the film that they just did not touch on. It was like, he can defuse bombs, but he's never going to defuse a bomb in this film.
Anyway, so I dug that. I thought that there was a fine balance. There was a decent balance between the monsters and the humans. I thought it wasn't overly done. Now you're right. There were some scenes where they didn't necessarily have to do the cutaways, but I get where they were going and why they were doing it. Towards the end, though, spoiler word, we just said all right,
whatever. If you ain't seen it by now.
Towards the end, though, I thought the ending was great, and you can just see, how he is actually realizing his true power and his true strength, and you can see it in the look in his eyes when everybody is bowing to him. Mm-hmm. Very similar. We talked about it earlier during prep. Very similar to Caesar in Planet of the Apes,
right?
And how everybody acknowledges how different he is and how evolved he is in knowing how to speak and his intelligence and everything that he's doing for the apes. Okay. You see that with Godzilla and how the monsters are around him, and he's screaming and he's doing his roar to prove that he is king. So it's a great segue to Kong versus Godzilla. You're talking about
Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah, no. You're talking about
Final Wars.
Yeah, but you were also talking about the evolution of Kong from 1973.
Oh yeah. So
to now.
So that's the whole thing. They didn't show me Kong because they made the reference in Kong that he wasn't full grown. Obviously, to do King Kong versus Godzilla, because I saw like a poster that said God versus King. It's an amazing poster. And there's but I want to see that how he's transitioned to be more of a sizable competitor to Godzilla, to have this fight that we've been waiting to see without the bad CGI and the bad costume that we got to see in the original one. But he gets dropped in like
and the balloons. He's on the balloons. He's on.
What did they find balloons big enough to drop him in? But
how about the wire?
Well,
the wire could.
I mean, if they found balloons that big to bring them in, then obviously they're going to find wire big enough to hold it. So I kind of wanted to see that aspect. I know we got the post-credit scene that talked about maybe what they're going to do with maybe regenerating King Ghidorah or Ghidorah, however you want to pronounce it if you're Japanese.
or they're actually going mecha.
They could go mecha, but I would rather see, because I know that there is a mecha Ghidorah.
Yes.
I would rather see mecha Godzilla though.
What if it's both?
That's stupid.
The way I see it is, he's because if you watch and you listen to the post-credit scene, the monsters are heading to Skull Island for some reason. They're attracted to Skull Island, so they're going there.
That's where all the party's happening.
So that's where
it is. The monsters know where everything's happening. That's the new club.
That brother Kong, baby. That brother Kong get that party going.
I heard Kong throws a good party. We got to go over there.
So you see that they're going over there. So obviously, they're gonna. It's leading up to Kong versus Godzilla, which I think overall it begins with them as adversaries.
No, then you're gonna have your BVS and then G versus K.
Gigan, the Gigan comes out, and then they're.
But even in the old Toho films, they always had most of the fights take place once they really got going into the whole series. Is like everything started on Skull Island. So that was not Skull. Was it Monster Island? Was it Monster Island or Skull Island?
Skull Island.
It was Skull Island. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so everything started there before it went back. It was like, hey, such and such woke up on the island and then went to Japan and then destroyed everything. So I'm okay with them going there. And I really do get the vibe that they're like, oh, we're battling and like, oh, now we have to be teammates. And then Mothra, her eggs over here. Like, it's gonna be 3 against everybody. They always gonna bring Mothra back. Mothra always comes back. So I'm okay with that. There was one problem that I had, and it was one of the things I don't think it was needed, and that was Millie Bobby Brown.
Really?
Millie Bobby Brown was not needed in this film at all. By the way, whoever her parents are that named her Millie Bobby Brown, shout out for being New Edition fan. Because there is no reason that she got named Millie Bobby Brown unless you were a Bobby Brown fan, because that was ridiculous as a name.
It was their prerogative, sir.
You know, it's like, because you have to say Millie Bobby Brown every time. It is not Millie Brown, it's Millie Bobby Brown. You were a New Edition fan and we know it.
Don't be cruel.
I wonder if she has a brother and sister named Ralph Tresvant.
Well, I don't know. I think that maybe you're right. In a lot of ways, no, she wasn't needed.
They could have done that same dynamic with just the ex-wife or the wife and the husband. They could have done that same dynamic without the daughter.
But don't you think that it would actually not really give the father a reason to really want to get more involved in it? I mean, I ain't got no kid now later, man. She left me. So I think
maybe just say, hey, I'm estranged from my wife, but I still love her.
It's an incentive. I think. Are you talking about like freaking Statham and Meg? He had to go down to get his ex-wife.
I didn't watch Meg.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Well, there you go. But I'm just saying, it's like sometimes you can still care even though you don't care.
I think there's more of a deeper incentive if a daughter's involved for the main character to go out of his way to try to save. So I think it was fine. Quiet. I did not have a problem with her.
She sat quiet until like, oh, I got to do something right now, and then like they would like talk about like she'd complain about something, and then they just do whatever they were gonna do anyway, and I'm like, what's her point? Until she's just like, oh, I'm gonna steal the whole thing, which the most important piece of their whole eco-terrorism thing, they're just gonna leave unguarded for what is she, like 15 in this whole movie or something like that, for some 15-year-old to take it and then leave,
and then they we got what we need.
We didn't need that.
We didn't need that no more. Yeah, we got what we wanted.
And like all the monsters are waking up. That's what we want.
Good cast.
Yeah.
It's I think everybody delivered what they
Tywin
were supposed to deliver.
Lannister from Game of Thrones.
But how about this? The second go round where a member of NWA goes against a monster.
Right?
You had Dre.
Second character I did not need in this film.
You had Dre, you had Easy in Kong, and now you have Cube against Godzilla.
Hey, can we get Suge in the next one?
So now we need. No,
I don't know.
We need Ren and we need Yella to be in King versus God.
No, I need the guy who plays Suge to come back and play Suge.
And then he gets squashed.
No, because he's been playing Suge because he was in the Michelle film, and then he's
playing Suge and everything.
So I need him to play Suge in Godzilla 3.
So NWA is 2-1 because they lost Easy in the first in Kong, so they're 2-1. So they need reinforcements.
Yeah.
They need
Call
Yella.
Suge.
No, they need Yella.
and Ren.
And
Dr. Dre
and Paul Giamatti will come out. He's
I wouldn't be surprised if they put Paul Giamatti in
straight out of Skull Island.
Oh, hey, that's a good one.
Hashtag straight out. Terrence, take us home.
All right, so you know what? Every time we do videos about Godzilla or dinosaurs or Jurassic Park, we get a lot of feedback on it. So I'd love to hear you guys' feedback about this film because I walked away with it. It's one of those films that's like, it wasn't perfect, but it was way better than the first one, and I'm happy with what I got. Yep. So I can't wait to see what they give us in the third one. I'm on board for this trilogy, and I want to hear what you guys think about it. So
right now, it performed a lot less than the 2014 version.
I did see that. Yeah,
I think it was
because we were waiting for a remake at the time.
It was open at 98. I mean, at 48, I believe, 48 mil, close to 50 million for the 3 days. Where the 2014 was at about 90. 91, so big drop off from that, but what you get out of it now, granted, there's a lot of mixed reviews from critics, and
it's a better movie than the first one. I don't understand why we would talk about this,
but I think it was because they liked the first one better. The audience were okay about the first one. Yeah. The audience is at a 93%
this is
right now.
A way better film.
And the cinema score is a solid B+, I think. So the audience loves it, and it's because it delivered. The director, Michael Daughtry, I think his name is, delivered something that everybody really wanted, and he found a perfect balance between the human actors and the monsters themselves. So it was a pretty solid continuation from the original. Very, very Planet of the Apes vibe that I got from this movie, but it was really, really good. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Leave it in the comment below. Tell us what you think, whether it was good, it sucked, could have been better. Tell us what you think.
All right.
Be sure that you subscribe, hit the like button on this video, and
I'm sorry, these are our reviews from now on. This is how we're going to do reviews.
Yeah, this is our reviews.
We're just going to talk about them and then just kind of go from there. We're not going to be so structured with the reviews.
What did we do? We did some kind of review, and we kind of broke it down similar to the You Don't Hate.
Yeah, we did.
We did a Creed review, and it was like an hour.
Yeah, it's way too long. I'd rather just tell you how I felt, what I liked, what I didn't like, as opposed to really breaking down every scene of the movie.
And making it a complete editorial, and let me tell you about the structure in which the...
No.
Flat out, is it good or not? It's good.
When we get to You Don't Hate, we'll break it down. But for regular stuff, if I like, we're just going to tell you, hey, I like it, go see it.
If there's another movie you'd like for us to review, let us know. Our guy out there, Robert, I have not forgotten about you. We are going to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood pretty soon.
Please.
So we will be talking about that pretty soon. If you are in the San Antonio area, June 14th through the 16th, we will actually be at the Celebrity Fan Fest here in San Antonio. There's a lot of things we're going to be doing, so please come out and just say what's up.
We got giveaways.
Take a picture. Maybe. Take a picture. Be on the show. Whatever you want to do, just come out and say what's up. All right. For Aspen and Art, wherever the hell they're at, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we'll see you next time. 3, 2, 1.
I gotta fucking change shirts again.
There you go. 3, 2, 1.
It's a lightning for Godzilla.
You want to do a good rant?
Yeah, we talk. Yeah,
let's talk about it. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. Godzilla.